Uncle Sugar's Magic Circus. It's a fun place to be. You know, we got rainbows, we got kittens, we got unicorns. We don't have any of that.
No.
We got freedom pellets for people.
God's waiting room.
All right. Today, reconnaissance.
LAR.
Hey, look at that. So I think we have the perfect guest for that.
We do.
Yeah. So welcome to Staff Sergeant Chis Talbot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he goes by Murph, and he is an LAR platoon sergeant, 0363.
It's a 63, yeah. Which I thought, wouldn't it be 69?
It'd be 1369.
Unlucky cocksucker. You know that one?
1369?
Yeah.
Unlucky cocksucker.
Unlucky cocksucker.
Oh, I mean, fits with LAR, so I might put it in there.
Well, anyway, Chris, why don't you tell us, like, the format of the show is we typically bring people on and ask them a bunch of questions about how they got in the Marine Corps and what they did while they were in. So, what led you down the path to LAR? How did you join up?
So, I was originally going to go to the Navy, actually. And I talked to the recruiter and everything. My best friend growing up was, he went to MEPS and he's like, I joined the Marine Corps. You're a bitch. And I was like, well, fuck you. So then I went and talked to the Marine Corps recruiter. And he's like, well, what do you want to do in the Marine Corps? I was like, yeah. I want to be the dude shooting the machine gun on top of the Humvee. And he's like, why? So I took my ASVAB and everything. They're like, you can have any job you want in the Marine Corps. And I was like, I want infantry. And then I went to boot camp, ITV, and then while in ITV, to be 0311, the instructors walked in. They're like, who has a driver's license? And I'm just like, here like, I'm like, cool, you're going to LAR. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, you'll be on a plane in 2 weeks going to California. I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. California, never been there. And then went to the schoolhouse out there, and then I ended up in 1st LAR for 6 years. And
That's where we're training LAR guys now. Is Pendleton?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yep, all the.
I didn't. Didn't we used to train them somewhere? So that's regardless. But yeah, I didn't realize we were doing all that at Pendleton.
Yeah, it's all in Pendleton. It's always been in Pendleton.
I think it's always been out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember when that stood up because
They got a lot of space out there.
A lot of space.
You are old.
A lot of space.
I am old.
They do have a lot of space. That's why it's out there, because it makes no sense to train a mounted
Yeah.
infantry unit and
Not be able to do any long-range fires, right?
No.
Yeah.
So let's take a step back for a second, because we have folks that watch the show that are interested in the Marine Corps, maybe they don't know a lot about it.
Mm.
When we talk about LAR, Light Armored Reconnaissance, we're talking about, in the Marine Corps, a very specific vehicle.
Mm-hmm. And
what is that vehicle?
So the light armored vehicle is, so you have a bunch of different variants of it, but the main common one is the LEV-25. It has the 25 Bushmaster chain gun cannon on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. That's my favorite vehicle. That's what I use. I've never been on any other vehicle, so I can't really tell you anything about it, but we have like mortar vehicles, logistic vehicles, comm vehicles, and yeah.
There's even a radio battalion even has a variant.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, Ben guys.
Yeah, it
The,
does collection.
EW, electronic warfare one.
Muse, yeah, Muse vehicle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. So it's actually a pretty big vehicle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
8 tires?
We have 8 tires, and then, well, 10 if you count the steering wheel and spare tires.
That's funny.
That works. So I'm kind of curious about this gun you're talking about.
Yes.
What's it do? Tell us.
Shoots large bullets.
How big?
So they're 25. So here.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a name. I used to have a 25 millimeter.
Yeah, I got one at home.
Yeah, I don't have it here right now.
But
And it's like a machine gun when it shoots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what do we shoot it at?
So most common threat to us is the BMP from Russia.
Yep.
That's what we were back in the day when it was LAI back then started. It was the most common threat was Russia, and our close quarters would be the BMP, which would pretty much tank. They're forward scouts for tanks.
Yeah.
So.
And you guys are forward scouts as well, right? The whole point to a light armored reconnaissance element is that it goes out ahead of a main element to do things like screening and reconnaissance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Screening missions are more like what? Help me out here, Opso.
So
that's
we
where
send to a screen.
You're running patrols basically to see if you
Yes.
can run into enemy territory.
Yeah, or you're holding a guard, so you don't want anything to get through.
Okay.
a specific valley or an overwatch point or
Overwatch points, or you're
Yeah.
just sitting there because they told you to sit there. Yeah.
Probably did a lot of that.
Yeah, a few times.
Desert Storm really is where they kind of made their money, and that was the
Well,
validation.
that's where LAI made their name really. 'Cause that was their first time ever being deployed.
Colonel Jeff Powers, good buddy of mine.
Great guy.
Yep.
So they would cordon off like a village. They'd have set up the inner cordon and outer cordon. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out.
Mm.
And then all the door kickers would run in and shoot the village up, and then everyone bounce out.
So who rides in these things? Like, you know, this is just the crew? I mean,
So you have crewmen, and then you have scouts. So when we first started, all our scouts were recon marines.
Mhm.
So they're
I remember this.
0321s.
Yep.
And then they were like, man, it's cost a lot to throw 0321s into these vehicles.
yeah,
So
there's just
so
not
we started
enough
going
of them.
to 0311s, who are training as recon marines, and it just kind of doesn't make sense. If we're going to send them to school, we might as well just take 0321s then.
Yeah,
Right.
And then you have a three-part crew. So you have a driver, a gunner, and a vehicle commander. And then you have 3 scouts in the back and an attachment. So for my vehicle, come the Kazovac vehicle as a platoon sergeant, I have 3 scouts in the back and then a corpsman.
okay.
And then our rear vehicle has 3 scouts in the back and a mechanic. And then usually, so our point vehicle, so like my first deployment, we had a dog and a handler,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a pain in the ass.
How'd the dog doing there?
It did pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a cool dog. His name was Bo. Great guy. But, and then usually
He meant the handler.
yeah, you know.
I liked Bo better than most of the Marines I worked with.
Did what you told him.
But then usually our platoon commander's Vic, the one that always gets lost, usually has the intel guy to.
So how many vehicle do you, a 5 vehicle flight when you go out?
No, it's 4 vehicles per platoon.
Yeah.
Well, I guess kind of 5. So you have 4 vehicles per platoon, and then you have a anti-tank variant attached with
Okay.
0352s who shoot missiles at
Toes.
Javelins, toes, what?
Toes.
Toes.
You're going to have a lot of cool pictures for this show.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
You got pictures.
I didn't tell him about the pictures yet.
We'll put them up.
You got pictures?
Yeah, you have to bring pictures.
I can bring pictures.
Okay. We do that.
Oh, yeah.
So
I like
you-
the pictures.
You been deployed?
I have. I did, when I was with 1st LAR, I did 2 MEUs out there, and then a little 3-month thing in Jordan, where we
Mhm.
held security on an airfield for those guys, because apparently they can't do it themselves.
No, they can't do anything for themselves.
No. they
As
can't.
we're all painfully aware.
Mm.
I
But,
still have sand in my shoes.
Most of the time on those MEUs we spent in Africa, outside in Djibouti,
Mm-hmm.
because it's
Garden spot.
It's too beautiful there. And then so we'd go there, and then we'd go up to like Ethiopia, stand outside their borders, because you know everything's doesn't really matter. It's a shithole everywhere you go in Africa.
Hey, you can't say that.
All right, I will. It's a shithole.
I mean Africa. I mean no, it sucks. I can't even say it.
No, you can say anything you want.
Well, I was trying to like be like, oh, Africa's not that bad, but no, Africa is that bad. So I can't just like go to it.
Hey, it's big. It's got that going for it. It's very big.
Very
It's
big.
very big
It's-
and
it's-
extremely poor,
Yeah, it's a lot of space to be poor in.
Yeah.
A lot.
which means great ranges.
Yeah.
You're just like, that's a mountain. Let's shoot it.
No one cares.
Yeah, we were dropping bombs on wherever we wanted.
Cool.
That's awesome. Tell me this. So you talked about being on the MEU, right? So I know that the LAV has the capability to splash, go on the water now.
Yeah.
Kinda.
What do you mean,
Kinda. Ocean, it's not meant for ocean.
Okay.
You will die. Instantly. Now, you can cross, like, small rivers, like, as long as it's not, like, above a 6-mile-an-hour current.
Okay.
And
6 mile an hour. That's not much.
Yeah, it's not much at all.
It's not really.
I didn't realize that.
So it doesn't do well in the waves.
No.
And I know for a fact that the common and SIGINT variants are heavier on one side, so they flip over pretty easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to. So if you go on with people, you have to, like, you do a float test first, so you'll drive into the water, and when it starts going this way, you yell down, like, go to the other side.
Real scientific.
Everybody go left! Everybody go
You
right!
got people throwing main packs and everything to the other side, and, like, people just laying on top of each other. I was like, all right, cool.
Now everybody nay. Now everybody whip.
Now we're
Oh my
ballast. We're good.
Oh my God.
I just, a typical goddamn Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Everybody move to the other side.
We're listing left to the port. That's funny.
Oh God.
Crazy. I hate swimming those things.
Oh, I'm sure. It's
Terrible.
probably nerve-wracking.
It is.
Yeah.
And then you break down because the vehicles are made in '84.
Oh, so okay. So let's talk about the maintenance cycle a little bit then. So how much of your typical week is spent working on vehicles by going out and doing fun stuff like shooting?
Usually Monday and Tuesdays we'll work on vehicles. It's not too bad. Mondays we'll just do our regular maintenance, and if we break stuff, our
And
mechanic
so
comes fix it.
do the crew members have also are they dual hatted as mechanics as well, or do you also have mechanics back in the rear that
So
take
we
care of
have
business?
so our crewmen pretty much do all the maintenance, and then we have a mechanic to fix the shit we ruin.
Okay.
It's like that axle is kind of hanging there. I don't know what happened. It's like, well, if you didn't go 45 into a boulder, you probably would have an axle still. Yeah, right.
That's fun.
And then the mechanics yell at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have line mechanics. So line platoon mechanics who go out with the vehicles who can pretty much fix anything out there as long as it's
So you bring all your tools and shit out there with you too.
everything. So
That's one of the advantages of being vehicle bound or being vehicle born, man. It's
Uh-huh.
like you can carry a lot more crap. You guys bring grills and shit out with you, and
most of
fucking,
the time, yeah. I have
Benches and weights and
I got a
dumbbells.
cooler. It's nice. I got a hammock I string up.
Yeah.
It's great.
see that's going to the field. That was one of the things that made me when I was at Force look around and I was watching the Air Wing guys.
Yeah.
And the Air Wing guys, they roll the field. They roll fucking the right way.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, with coolers of beer and fucking steaks on the grill and all that
Combat
shit.
engineers. Those
And I was
sons of
like, hey
bitches
man,
live
I want
palatially.
to do some of that shit for a while. But what I didn't know was it was 24 hours a day, and you were going to be working
Yeah.
like a miserable slave basically.
Uh-huh.
And so what you were probably seeing with the dudes hanging out was the guys who just got off night crew and were eating breakfast or something.
Yeah, so they can lay down in the dirt and sleep for 4 hours.
In the sun.
Yeah. Why do you have skin cancer, Keith? Take a fucking wild guess.
It's noon and I'm taking a nap and it's Africa. It's 135 degrees.
But that's always the big friction between the infantry on foot and the infantry in vehicles is like they think you guys got it pretty easy.
Yeah, that's true. So LAR is a weird place because you're like the weird middle stepbrother of the infantry community that nobody really talks to and hates you because you're not recon, because everyone wants to be recon, but you still do the same job just mounted as recon.
Yeah.
And we have a bigger gun because our TO weapon isn't a camera. And then you have the
Shots fired! Shots fired!
the infantry.
We got a blue on blue here.
All the Victor units who are just like, you guys don't hike? Like, we do, but not to get to A to B. That's stupid. We have vehicles. Oh, do you call yourself infantry? There's an 03 in front of my number.
Ergo. That was a big goddamn conundrum when this all started because it was like when they changed the Light Armored Reconnaissance. And the recon community went batshit crazy. And the punchline is in Desert Storm, Jeff Powers is the first recon guy. Dual full.
Yeah.
And so they had a recon CO for recon missions. It's just mounted recon, which the Army does all the time. The Marine Corps is, everybody except for the Commandant apparently went, fuck you, we're not doing that. But they did it very well, and they proved the efficacy of the unit, like I said, in Desert Storm where it started.
So I'm a little slow on the uptake, but I just got it. So it used to be light armored infantry,
Yep.
and then they changed to light armored reconnaissance.
Yeah, and everybody's like, fuck you, you're not recon. But they were putting recon kids, like Murph said, in the back at the beginning.
And they also they're doing a reconnaissance mission. They're
Yeah,
just
it's a
doing
reconnaissance mission.
They're doing it for a mechanized or a motorized battalion versus guys on foot.
So on the MEU, so are you considered like a MEF asset or a division asset?
We are a division asset.
Okay. So eyes and ears for the division.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's for the MEU because we're in the BLT, the Battalion Landing Team. And then, I'm sure if we deployed as the entire battalion going somewhere, we'd be the MEF's asset
Yeah.
to go wherever we want.
So you're farmed out.
Mhm.
How many platoons you take on a mu float?
4.
Oh, okay.
So you have, or no, 5. So you have a.
Yeah, the steering wheel and the spare tire.
So you have your 3. Well, I forgot about weapons because you have your 3 line platoons of 425s per platoon.
Yeah.
And then you have your headquarters platoon, which is your
Headquarters,
food
yeah.
and fuel.
Yeah.
And then you have your weapons platoon, but they just get attached to
Yeah.
the line platoon.
So you just got back from Norway.
I did.
The hell were you doing in Norway?
Freezing my ass off. That's what I was doing in Norway.
What? You're in a metal box. It's heated, right?
Yeah, they all broke.
Tell us a little bit about that, because that was a clusterfuck, wasn't it? And tell us why it was a clusterfuck. I know the answer, because I want you to tell
It was
people out in TV land.
What, Chinese flu? That's
Yeah.
why it was a pain in the ass. So we got there in January, and we didn't do anything until February. We got there beginning of January, and we couldn't do anything until like mid-February because of COVID.
Was this for an exercise? You were up there for an exercise? or-
Yeah, we were for a bunch of training with Norwegians and
Okay.
their armored divisions.
Yep.
But we couldn't do anything because they were like, freaking out about COVID.
Was it their government?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were fine.
So these things are planned X number of years in advance. They show up,
Years.
and the Norwegian Prime Minister goes, "Oh, no. You could have germs."
Yeah.
These schmucks are stuck.
And we're just sitting there in tents, like, sleeping on cots, wondering what we're doing with our lives. And then, well, we finally got to go out. So we did like cold weather training. So we pretty much went out there and did survival training and
Yeah.
hung out with those guys and made fires out in the woods. But Norway's weird. So they don't have like, so here in the United States you have training areas where you go to. Their training area is wherever you want to go. And then whatever you break,
Yeah.
they get a grid, and then after the training event, they go and fix whatever you broke.
Hmm.
So we were doing contact drills in like some dude's back farm.
And the farmer doesn't bitch about it?
No.
Because he's going to get money if you fuck anything up.
Yeah.
Did you kill any cows?
We broke a lot of fences though. A lot of fences. But they didn't care. Like, so we did this this one op with the Norwegian Navy.
Yeah.
It was cool because I don't know how much you know about Norway's
Oh, I've been to Norway.
how it's fucking
lots of
everything.
times.
Everything's a fjord coming in.
Yeah.
So we did an op with the Norwegian Navy where we sat into a screen and pretty much held security for their submarines coming into the fjord
Mhm.
to resupply, and then
Mhm.
held security for them to get back out.
It's cool.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
How do they resupply a submarine from inside a fjord? They just,
They pulled it through the fjord into a port,
yeah,
and then
The fjords are like 1,000,000 miles deep.
yeah.
they're huge.
They're like, you know, if you look at it on the surface, it looks like it's that wide, but it's deep.
Really?
And the mountains on the side are ridiculously high.
Mhm.
The whole country is like every 4 feet, there's another fjord going in.
Mhm.
So trying to traverse, like trying to drive anywhere in Norway, what's right over there? You got to go that way for 82 miles to get over there to get around 7 fjords to get there. It's
It was
a nightmare.
ridiculous. Because so we had to drive so we were in Narvik,
Yeah.
and we had to drive way up north to set into the screen, and it took us probably 14 hours to get there
Yeah.
because of going around all the fjords, and it was like 40 miles.
Yeah. There isn't 4 feet of straight highway in that country.
Interesting. How'd the vehicles hold up in the cold weather?
Vehicles held up pretty good actually. Wasn't too bad. It was nice to have a heater. So if you are interested in LAR, we have heaters.
Why they're temperature controlled?
Do you have AC?
No, that part sucks.
Ergo back to Africa. I'm in a metal box sweating my ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time.
So did you pull any liberty with the Norwegians?
We had one day where we got to go on the boat, and I went to the World War II museum out there
Oh yeah. Where?
in Narvik. So
Narvik,
Battle of
okay.
Narvik when the Nazis invaded Norway,
Uh-huh.
trying to take over and hold it for the ports.
Yeah.
So I went to that museum and looked at all that cool stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I just could look. I don't know how to read Norwegian. So they told me what anything was. So. But it was cool to see.
You don't read Norwegian? You like dolt?
No, I skipped that class.
Gleben, Gloomen, Glad.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
It does. But they all speak English.
Oh yeah.
Everybody in Norway
Right.
speaks
Everyone
English.
speaks. That's
Yeah.
just Europe in general.
Oh, but yeah. Oh, by the way, they speak perfect English.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like if you come at them like speaking Ebonics or something, they like look at you like weird. No, speak English.
Yeah, the Norwegian Army was cool. They were a couple things about them I thought were interesting. I worked with them a long while ago, so I'm sure it's probably still the same. But you can't be an officer unless you were, because they all go up to sergeant and then they decide whether they want to continue in the enlisted path or whether they want to become an officer. I
Well,
think
that's
an
conscription too.
They do, but the regular Army, that the way their promotion system works,
Yeah.
from my understanding anyway, was that all of their officers are prior enlisted guys. So you at least understand.
Well, that's because everyone in Norway has to do a minimum of a year in the military.
It's like Israel.
Yeah.
Everybody goes.
And then after that year, I don't even think you get paid during that first year. They just give you a place to live and feed you, and you do your work, and then you can choose to stay, or you can get out and go live about your life.
Yeah.
And here's what I remember about the Norwegian. A couple things I remember about the Norwegian Army that I thought were interesting. The first one is they literally ski from the time they are infants.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They are amazing on skis.
Yeah, I am terrible on skis.
Unbelievable. It's like a natural talent at that point. They've done it for so long. The second thing I know is they're funny and they make their own booze.
It's delicious.
And we were hanging out in the It is. It's really good.
Yeah.
They all had their dog chains. And the dog chains had like 365 beads or whatever. And they would hold them in their hand while they were hanging out in the barracks at night, and they flip them. They do this weird little it goes.
Like dog tag chain?
Yeah. And what they do is every day they clip off a bead because they're conscription, I guess a year.
Oh.
So the short timers have, well, that's what they used to do. I don't know how it is now.
Yeah.
The short timers, they would be like, flip, flip, flip. Dudes who were just fresh were like, so it's kind of funny to watch.
Well, I know why they make their own booze. Again, I'm dating myself because 100 years ago, but when I was at Syria, we'd go in and out of Norway doing stuff. And so we're talking mid-90s, late 90s.
1890s or
Nah, not the turn of that century.
Move it up
The
one.
next century.
Carry the decimal point. But it was like $8 for a fucking beer. Because I'm on
It's
Syria,
expensive.
I'm in civilian clothes and just running around the country doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I could do whatever I wanted to, and I did. Except I rolled into a bar and that was like 12 kroner or something. I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of money for a glass of beer. Well, we have free medicine. No, you don't. Nothing's free.
Not for me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm paying for it.
yeah, but their beer there, like, so we'd go to the little gas station and buy beer and sneak it back on base. But it's not like that. Everything is like if you get a can of beer, it's a pint. But a 6-pack of it is $28.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But
we have free medicine.
Yeah, but we're Marines, so we'd be
Stupid
like,
motherfucker.
okay, if we buy 3, right? If we buy 3 now, 3 6-packs, that should last us until next pay period. But we're dumb, and we get back on base and we're like, let's drink all this beer right now, and get as drunk as possible, and we'll be hungover tomorrow. It's going to be great. And that's what we do.
I'm so happy that nothing ever changes.
That's all the same stuff.
I spent a lot of money on beer in Norway.
Everybody does.
Not like Thailand, where
Huh.
you can pull out 30 cents and be a millionaire.
Yeah. Literally, we were talking about that one of the shows. The first time I went to the Philippines, I cashed a check for $100. We stayed for 6 days. I think I left with $92.
Oh, jeez.
I bought everything I could fucking find, and I was drunk 25 hours a day.
That's
It
how,
was 7 cents for a beer.
Oh, my gosh.
that's how Bali
7
is, too.
cents. Huh?
That's how Bali is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I pulled out $1 million in their money, and it was like $75.
Well, the problem when you
Well,
do
rich.
that, you go to these places and they give you these stacks of money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember I'm wearing shorts and sneakers and, t-shirt and a ball cap and
And a brick of money.
a brick of money. I'm with Jim Schulson, who's been on the show. I'm like, what are we going to do with all this shit? Because we're at the money changers, right by the Shit River Bridge.
Backpack.
Trying to, and so you walk around like you have a disease, like there's lumps all over your legs from fucking money in your pockets. It's fucking crazy.
Tell the truth, Keith. You had a fanny pack. You kept your money, you kept a brick of money stuffed in your
Sal, I can
freaking
see your fanny pack is right over there just off camera. Don't even give me any of your shit.
Yeah.
It's the one you got for free when you opened a bank account with Navy Fed a couple of years ago.
Nice. The other thing that's funny about that is then you go in and you're like whipping out these stacks of freaking dollars and somebody's like, oh damn, that guy's got money.
In the Philippines, they'll kill you for your fucking flip flops. So what else have you done in the Marine Corps besides ride around blowing shit up in Africa?
My first deployment, I was part of a BBSS team.
Well, tell us about that,
So,
because that's interesting.
So my first deployment,
What
I
does it
was
stand for?
BBSS?
Yeah.
No.
Visit, board, search, and seizure.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
That's what we did. So that makes sense. I know.
now I get it.
Yeah, it makes sense now. Wow.
So who were you with then?
I was with 13th MENA.
I'm an alumnus of 13th U myself. So what? Tell us about doing that.
I mean, it was good. They asked for help for, I don't know what happened, but they said, well, we need a volunteer to go out on these crews. And I was like, sure, hey, I'll do it. And all they wanted me to do was sit in front of a machine gun and hold security. Because my first 3 years, I didn't do any crewman things.
Why?
Yeah, all the crewman spots were full, so I just started scouting.
Okay.
And they handed me a saw and said, go do crewman things. So, and then they forgot I was a crewman. I never brought it up because I loved machine guns. And then finally I became a corporal and a team leader, and they're like, you're not even an 11. I was like, yeah, I am. But yeah, that's
OJT.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Same thing. I like to do what I like to do. But yeah, we'd go out, and it was outside Yemen during their whole, the Civil War still going on, but like their peak when we were starting to bomb them and all that stuff.
So you were in Yemen while the Civil War was hot and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting.
We were right outside. We were invading all the Somali pirate boats that were smuggling AK-47s into the country.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that, because that's a little unknown fact of history
Mm-hmm.
about when that was going on.
So, 2015, the Yemen Civil War was huge, and we had ships outside Yemen, and we were bombing them. MARSOC was there, SEALs were there, doing all that crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then all we were assigned to do was, hey, go board these boats and stop weapons and drugs getting into the country.
Now, how are you boarding the boats?
So we were on these little rubber crafts. I forget what the boat's called.
Zodes?
Zodes.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit bigger than those. And then we'd pull up to them, we'd hold them at gunpoint, and they'd
Front ribs.
Oh, yeah.
The rigid
Yeah,
ribs. Rigid hull inflatable boat.
Yeah. Which is a great piece of gear.
Great, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Except when you're out there for 16 hours and you're just going.
Mm.
And you can literally feel your spine compressing from the water.
Hey!
You've seen my x-rays.
That's why Keith's so short.
I used to be tall.
Don't lie.
He was 6'3" when he first started. Now he looks like Jimmy Carter in that latest picture.
But yeah,
A human question mark. You too can have a back like this if you stay in boats too long.
Hey!
So you're running, having fun with Somalians.
yeah.
Did they ever push back, so to speak?
No, not really. I mean, they tried where they try to like grab something and then people would just take them to the ground and
Butt stroke them.
Look at me.
Let's go.
Look at me.
I'm the
I
captain
am the
now.
captain now.
So I told them. But I never got off. I just stayed on the rib and
Yeah.
made my machine gun, which was a great time.
Where were they bringing the AKs in from?
Usually Somalia and wherever else they were getting them from.
Yeah. So you snatch up all the weapons and then what? You arrest these assholes or just let them go?
We would we'd take whatever we found, dump it into the ocean. We'd take photographs of everything. Sometimes we'd confiscate stuff. Sometimes we'd take, depending on who it was and like how much they had. Like you can kind of tell if a dude has one AK-47, like yeah, you're not that big of a target. But if you have 150 AK-47s and
Yeah.
RPKs and RPGs, you're like you're probably important. Let's take you hostage. So but usually we just have the people and we just dump it off ship, off
Yeah.
the boat, and they're not going to get it then.
Yeah.
The ocean's 3,000 feet deep. And go by
Take
where
these
they are.
guys back to the intel guys and let them
Mhm.
pick their brains a little,
Let them do it.
rip phones and have fun.
Mhm.
Cool. See, nobody knows about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
VBSS is interesting. Marine Corps has had
Yeah.
fascination with it since back in the 80s. We were doing VBSS runs,
Actually,
That
back
force.
to the Revolutionary War.
Well, yeah. Remember, I can really only focus on myself. I'm very self-aware.
Well, when I first came in, it was during the Revolutionary War. We were doing VBSS.
But it's it continues to grow as a thing.
Yeah.
But we've had a love-hate relationship with it.
Uh-huh.
And the rules on what you're allowed to do and what you can't do over time have changed so much.
Yeah.
As
Usually
far as-
because the cheese dicks get involved, and they don't want you doing what you need to do.
Well, it's a training. There's training considerations, right? Because there's day, night. There's opposed, unopposed. There's bottom up,
extremely
top down, using helicopters.
It's extremely difficult to do. It's extremely complicated.
It's dangerous if the people want to keep you from getting on their boat. There's a lot of ways they can do that and cause a lot of hate and discontent.
Simple shit, fire hoses.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of crazy shit that goes on.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty crazy.
beer wench.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys read the new Commandant's planning guidance 2030, all that bullshit.
Carefully, going out to duty.
But
See, Jill, see this right here? This is I don't have to read the Commandant's reading list.
yeah, you're right.
It's my get out of jail free card.
So at least what Sal's referring to is our little inside joke. So when we were working as retirees, we were working at Marsac, and somebody'd come down with some idiotic dictum, and Sal and I'd sit there like this going, you know what this is? This means I don't have to do shit I don't want to do. Fuck away from it. Oh, it's a new initiative. We'd like everyone to go to the DUI class this week. We go fuck yourself. We're not going.
Yeah, well, I haven't retired 4 times yet. So. But anyway, so like...
Hang in there, you'll get there.
Yeah, I'm waiting. So his whole new guidance is he wants to bring boats back into it and be more of the fleet marine force.
Yeah.
So pretty much like,
it's actually a good idea.
It's a great idea.
So they want to bring in more boats and make everything more waterborne so we can go from island to island and place to place more frequently and faster. So that's why we got rid of tanks, because tanks and water don't get along. And you can fit one tank on an LCAC.
Yeah.
So it's stupid.
But we could argue that all day long, but I have a warm spot in my heart for tanks because they, if I'm being grunt human, or better yet, reconnaissance human, and they throw those giant bullets at people and blow shit up, I kind of like that. Desert Storm, they attached tanks to First Mordiv, and they gave us the Brits, the Desert Rats. Famed, back to World War II, great unit, squared the fuck away, guys. These guys had their shit wired. Yeah, at the last minute, the infamous and always wise, he said facetiously, Normie Schwarzkopf decided the Army was taking the Brits and gave us an Army Reserve tank battalion who couldn't spell tank. So now the plans is, if the Marine Corps needs tanks, the Army's going to give them to us. Needless to say, I see a few holes in that plan.
Yeah.
But I'm a retired broke dick drinking beer at 10 in the morning with you, so it doesn't matter what I think.
I mean, I've never relied on the Army for anything. But.
I don't like to rely on anybody for anything except Marines, because you pick up the phone, they'll come. And we've had a jaundiced attitude perhaps, but it's born of experience.
They'll crawl through a field of broken glass on fire to help you.
Yeah, they will come and get you. If you're in a jam, they'll come get you. Marines.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and
Well, they might actually be next to you.
yeah.
So you might have to wait.
Okay, so we're back in boats. We're doing VBSS, which is cool as fuck.
Great time.
Yeah.
But then, so get done with that out of Saudi Yemen, then we go into, where is it? Right next to UAE.
Qatar?
Qatar, that one.
Yeah, I've been to Qatar. Lovely, lovely area. Woo! They got a lot of nothing there.
They got a lot of sand.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there.
And
then,
partially constructed buildings.
Yeah. In Bedouins.
Yeah.
No shortage of camels.
But yeah,
So everybody has a date.
This is where I realized why, well, like I said earlier, O3s hate LAR, but commanders love them.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to send CLB every 12 hours to come resupply you. Because our whole, we're supposed to be self-sustaining for 4 days, minimum.
You can carry that much fuel?
That much fuel, well, it depends on what we're doing. We can probably go longer if we're not driving all the way around.
Really?
Yeah, hell
I guess I didn't realize that. That's a lot of fucking
But
fuel.
like food, fuel, gas, whatever we got, like we carry it all with us. So by the time we actually need a resupply, it's day 6, and we're like, we can meet them there. So like, CLB never has to like come to us, like how you do with a Victor unit, and they have to drive 700 hours. So it's like, yeah, just meet us at this grid. We'll come to you.
Cool.
And that's why commanders love us, because they never have to really really have to go out of their way to take care of
Yeah,
us. It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
Leave us alone and bring us food.
So what were you doing in Qatar?
We were training. We were just training, hanging out.
You working with the locals at all?
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah.
That's a leading question because we all know what it's like working with those cats.
Well, I mean, it was crazy. So, like, UAE and Qatar kind of hate each other. So when we were in UAE, we weren't allowed to say anything about us working with Qatar. And when we were in Qatar, we weren't allowed to say anything about working with UAE. Because we're pretty much training these dudes to kill each other. It's pretty fun.
It's good work if you can get it.
Mm-hmm. Paycheck.
It's a national strategy.
Sure.
Any sandstorms while you were there?
Oh yeah, miserable.
Yeah.
I hated them.
Well, at least you had somewhere metal to get into. Earth pigs, when the sandstorm comes, get in a hole in the ground and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Jill will remember this. We had one, I don't know where my goggles were, but I didn't have them on me. And I got stuck in the sandstorm trying to get back to my freaking tent. And I caught a piece of something in my eye, man. It scratched the hell out of my cornea.
Yeah.
It almost sent me home. Like, it was pretty bad. It was a big chunk out of my
Yeah.
cornea. But yeah, those things are wicked.
We
It's
went-
crazy, man. It's the middle of the day.
Middle of the day, and
And
it's
it's within about 15 seconds, it goes to like, well,
it goes from beautiful sunny skies
to
that's
pitch
all
black,
it
like
is.
it's
Disaster.
dark, like
Yeah.
it's nighttime.
We had Desert Storm.
With orange
With or-
mixed in there
Yeah.
somehow, too.
middle of Desert Storm, we had, you couldn't believe this, we had caught in a sandstorm, and it started raining in the desert.
Oh, yeah,
And we were close to the oil wells, so there's oil flying through the air too. It was a long night.
I bet.
A CH-53 got lost with a pallet of artillery ammo and almost dropped it on us. I was first with recon. They're trying to wave it off in the combat, so you can't get lights up because it's in a combat zone. And it's raining and sanding sideways.
Mm.
So it's like being shot with a machine gun that's shooting little tiny bullets continuously. It's fucking miserable.
Yeah. Well, we have this saying called the LAR cloud.
What's that?
The LAR cloud means wherever LAR goes, it'll rain. Right? So we're in Africa, and it rains here once every 13,000 years. And we're there, and it rained for 45 days straight. And then it stopped, and it would get super humid, and it'd be 146 degrees, and then rain again. It was awful.
It was awful.
That's because you guys were eating charms. We all know it.
They stopped giving those out.
I know. So the tracks have the apricot thing.
It's Africa.
Do you guys have apricot thing? In
We don't have an apricot thing.
Okay.
But every time I see tracks, I give them apricots.
Keith, you
Maybe-
want to talk about the apricot?
As TD land, do
We
they
might
know
as well.
about
I don't
apricots?
know. Let's find out.
That shit, as far as I know, goes back to like Vietnam. Grunts wouldn't eat apricots.
Yeah.
And apricots came in, because when I first came in, we're eating sea rats.
Mhm.
And a can of apricots, when it's 146 degrees out and you're drinking the juice, and they're delicious. Vietnam guys would, like, the gunnies and some of the senior officers are all in Vietnam. All the platoon sergeants have been in Vietnam. So I got my pocket stuffed with apricots. I don't give a fuck. The VC aren't going to kill me. We're in Camp Pendleton.
Yeah.
But so then it got to be a thing with apricots with the track guys.
Yeah.
And I think that's still a thing.
It is. Here's what I know. This is, and by all means, feel free to make a comment on the site and let us know if you know
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah, we want to know. Because,
We'll educate.
but if you ate them, you got hit.
Yeah. Well, what I
Pretty much
heard
what it
was
was.
from World War
Yeah.
II.
Oh.
They were finding blown up tanks, and they were finding apricots in them. So as the war was progressing, they're like, oh shit, there's some blown up American tanks, and they had apricots in them. So they got it in their mind that they got blown up because they had the apricots.
Yeah.
Probably people didn't like them, and they just had them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they'd find a burnt out, dead tank, and it had apricots in it, and they just developed this aversion to them. So they said, you'll not bring any apricots on our tank. We're not getting blown up.
Well, the Vietnam guys.
And Marines are fucking weirdly suspicious about all kinds of superstitious
Weird.
about all kinds
Marines
of stuff.
are so superstitious about shit. And if you try and fight the superstition, well, that's bullshit. 22 guys like pound on you, they roll you up in your poncho and throw you in the ocean and fuck you.
Or they'll give you 700 anecdotal examples of
Yeah.
people they knew who were killed because
Don't
they
you
didn't.
know?
Yeah.
What do you mean you put your blood type on your flak patch? You don't put your blood type on your flak patch. That means you're gonna die. What? You never put your blood type.
How will the doc know if I don't put it on there? Doesn't matter.
You mean to tell me you carry a kill card? You carry a kill card, you're gonna die. Well, yeah, I want to have a kill card in case I do get shot. Nope. I don't even carry one.
You know, I laugh about kill sheets. You know, getting on a hill, you need a kill sheet. For those out in TV land, it's just a roster who's getting on the bird. And you keep one at the back where the helicopter's not going, and one with one of the dudes on the helicopter. You have 2 copies. I had a commander one time going back shit about, don't call the kill sheet. What do I call it? The list of cool dudes on a helicopter?
Personnel roster.
Personnel roster.
Flight manifest.
So as soon as that individual was
I hate
out of
helicopters.
left, I'm like, so who's got the kill sheet? Gunny, you got a kill sheet? Yeah, I got it. Okay. You hate helicopters?
I hate helicopters.
Why?
I just don't like Marine Corps pilots.
Oh?
They're terrifying.
They're terrifying?
Yeah.
So are the pilots terrifying or the machine terrifying?
A little bit of both. First of all, I feel like if you do 3 months of school, you probably shouldn't be a pilot.
They do more than 3 months of school.
It's pretty much 3 months of flight school.
It's a year long, dude.
Yeah, but what else? What all do they really do there? Right, we all know how officers are. Just saying. And then you have little lance corporals who don't give a shit about anything, right?
Yeah.
And he's over here like, yeah, I can fix that hydraulic pump. And he spits out his dip, slams a beer, and he goes in there and just starts putting wires down. And they're like, do you have any idea what you're doing? He's like, I went to school for this. And I was like, okay, it's a Marine Corps school. It's not a real school. And then he just like slaps it on the ass, puts the panel back on, and he's like, all right, load up. So that's why I don't like helicopters in the Marine Corps.
Well, I loved helicopters for a long time. And then you have enough near misses where toward the end you start going, they are terrifying.
Yeah, they're kind of terrifying.
As Kevin Fawcett told me one time, you know, we only get so many rides, Keith. And I'm pretty sure you and I have used ours up over twice. And then I really got thinking about it. And then you're getting long in the tooth in the Marine Corps. And you start, you know, you're flying over water at night. And thing, you know, the crew chief's running around inside the bird because you know something's wrong. Everybody watches the crew chief.
Uh-huh.
And he starts dancing around like a cat in a hot tin roof. And you know you're over water in the middle of the fucking ocean. You can't see any ships, so you still got a ways to go. Something's wrong. And you're like, God damn it, Kevin, you're right. This may be it.
Well, I mean, we were kind of in a, it wasn't really a helicopter crash, but it was a helicopter mishap. We were in the 22, and we were coming back from San Clemente Island.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to land, and it's rough waves, and it comes up, and the little net around the flight deck, you know what I'm talking about, grabs the wheel of the 22, and then comes back down and just rips the 22 back to the flight deck.
You're lucky it went that way, not the other way.
Yeah, thank God.
I had a couple of friends who died in a helicopter crash.
That was the
because they got hooked in those nets, and the 46 went back into the drink.
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time I pissed my pants in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I like that he said the first time.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been there.
So we should tell Lou Gregory, by the way, that's part of the game. You're going to piss in your pants. And probably poop in your pants.
Yeah,
At some point, yeah.
Once or twice.
Yeah.
And you're going to be sick in the middle of nowhere.
I pooped in my pants, but it was because I got some kind of form of dysentery when I was in the Iraq War, the first one.
Uh-huh.
And not the first one, I'm sorry. That would be Desert Shield, Desert Storm. I'm talking about OIF 1.
Yeah.
We all got sick. We got miserably sick. Every time you go on a deployment, everybody gets
Everybody
miserably
gets sick
sick
at one point. Yeah.
So I will say, this Norway deployment, not a single person got sick.
Really?
It's because you need the apricots.
That's because they're so damn superstitious about this fucking Chinese flu shit. Everyone's washing their hands. Usually you go on a deployment and every Marine's like, looks at a sink and goes, and just goes and eats. And even here, everyone's just like, oh my God, hand sanitizer. I'm going to shower 7 times a day. No one got sick. It's actually pretty good.
Maybe there's something to this.
Yep. It's Navy medicine for you.
Yeah, Navy medicine. Change your socks a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good.
My feet
That'll
are
do
sick.
it. That keeps you healthy.
It does. I drank a couple of gallons of water.
Christy had a headache the other day. She changed her socks. She's good to go.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. That's
We
good.
just had a corpsman on last show. He
We
told
did.
us all about that. Yeah, so then what? What'd you do after you went to Qatar?
Qatar, we kind of went to back to Africa and then came home on ship So we went to Thailand, Bali, all the fun places where
Yeah.
you get fucking hammered and you don't have to work. And then stopped in Hawaii and got dropped off. And had a great time.
So what's next for you?
Next for me, I got a couple schools I got to go to. And then I'm going to put in a drill instructor package.
Ah.
All right.
Yeah.
You ought to do that tonight, because if you don't, you know how this works. Murph.
Well, my package is being built right now.
Yeah, you're going on recruiting.
You're going to recruiting duty if you don't hurry up.
Well, I
You know how
can't-
this works.
I can't go recruiting.
Why?
Because my tattoos, they won't let me.
Oh, I forgot. We have that idiotic policy still.
Yeah, they have that stupid tattoo policy that the Marine Corps is the only one that follows.
I know.
So, can't do recruiting. I have to get waived to be a DI, and I can't do pretty much anything else.
And what is it about the tattoo? It's too big?
It's out of their regulations.
Well, remember we did a whole show
Oh,
on
yeah.
tattoos.
It's ridiculous.
And Sal pulled up the regs and held them in front of the camera, the little man with the hands covering.
Well, see, people read the order wrong. They think it's your whole hand. It's supposed to be just your palm.
Oh.
Oh, so I can have a little gay hide it from mommy tattoo.
Uh-huh.
Oh, isn't that cool?
Keith is not a fan of tattoos. I don't know if anybody knows.
Me either. But then it's even stupider because it gets in more detail. Like this one, you think would be like, okay, you can cover it with your hand. But no, because it's less than 2 inches away from my wrist.
The hell's that got to do with it?
I don't know. It's the Marine Corps. What does that have to do with anything?
It'll show, I guess,
then
when you
this
wear a
one,
long
it's,
sleeve shirt. I don't know. I'm not sure.
So this one is considered a part of this one because it's less than 2 inches away from this one. It's fucking stupid.
Well, like I said, we beat that horse to death more than once because it is the most idiotic policy on
It
earth.
is. Because me having tattoos on my arm makes me a bad platoon sergeant.
Non-combat effective.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's a known fact that Chesty Puller had no tattoos. Just keep that in mind.
But he did have his hand in his pocket, so I don't give a shit about that again.
And he got NJP'd a couple times, too. I understand.
So there's that.
So there's that. So riddle me this. You're going to put in a drill instructor package.
Yeah.
And what's the goal?
I don't know. I just want to move on and do another step in my career.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
I figured
B-billet's the way to do that. For
Yeah, you
Why
gotta
not
have a beat
to-
bullet.
I feel like it'd just be awesome to go and be a drill instructor, teach the future, not of just like the infantry or bring little lazy fuckers into the Marine Corps, but I would be able to literally break them down and make them Marines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's awesome. Like where it starts for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I get to go back where it started for me
Mm-hmm.
and then do what my drill instructor did for me and then do
Now
the
you're
same
from
thing.
Michigan.
I am.
Where'd you go to boot camp?
Paris Island. Yep.
Interesting.
Paradise Island.
Mm-hmm.
And sand fleas and beaches.
Yeah.
And so the country's cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan falls on the east side.
East
So-
side, yep.
That's
so,
surprising.
what is it,
Okay.
like, I think
Okay.
it's Mississippi,
Yeah, Mississippi.
East
Mhm.
goes to Paris Island.
Yeah.
Mississippi West goes to San Diego.
But they can be waived.
You can be waived if
Oh, that's
you
interesting.
like. Hey, my dad went to San Diego,
Yeah.
but we live in Michigan. Like, I want to go where my dad went to boot camp.
But Christy's brother joined the Marine Corps when I was on recruiting duty, and
Did you put him in?
no,
Oh, that would be funny.
no, I didn't. But we had rotated out. I was working at Coronado then. By the time he got through
Oh,
the
I
debt,
gotcha.
and so he wanted to go. I just called back to say, hey, send this kid. I want to send this kid to the West Coast because I want him to live with me and Christy for a month or two, so I could beat the shit out of him every day, so he'd be ready for boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, it's no big deal. It was a phone call. I just called back to the RS and
That's all it
say,
takes.
they were like, oh, Kelly, what are you doing? Okay, listen, I need a favor. Can you hook me up with this kid? Yeah. And so I just drove him downtown San Diego the night before he went to boot camp. So he had to like go from the RS to MCRD, which was like 12 feet away, which is hilarious. Get on the bus, get off the bus.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll wave that shit all day long.
Fuck yeah, they will.
So where do you want to be a DI at? Do you know?
Paris Island.
Do you want to go
Yeah,
to
I want to go back to where I started.
Okay.
That's why. I don't want to go back to California, really. I spent 7 years in California. I just want to. I would love to go back to California at some point.
Yeah.
But I've only been away for a year and a half.
Yeah.
I want to experience different parts of the country and different bases and commands and.
Yeah. Which is the beauty of the Marine Corps. You can do that.
Yeah, there's all three of them. all three of the major bases in the Marine Corps.
But you go to places like Qatar and Africa and sweat to death.
You do. You do. Well,
You do, and we make light of it, but you do a lot of cool shit.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean,
You do.
we've done so much cool shit, it hurts.
yeah. It blew my mind though when they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna go to the Arctic Circle." What the fuck are you talking?
You're from Michigan. You should be used to it. You should be up there like wearing a wife beater
I
and
spent
board
7 years in the Middle East and 29 palms. The thing I'm closest to snow is when it is December and 29 palms. It's 40 degrees.
That
And you're
light crust on the
it's
desert.
cold. Somebody give me a happy suit.
I laugh all the time at this. You're from goddamn Michigan. Chrissy's from Michigan. Temperature plummets below 80. Where's the poncho viral?
Still cold. I mean, it was cold there. Norway. I mean, the coldest day we had was negative 46.
That's chilly.
And the average temperature was negative 15, 16.
Yeah.
Up until we left. And the day we left, it was 22 degrees.
Ooh, a heat wave.
Yeah, we were
But
outside.
you guys don't have to worry about like sleeping with your canteens in your sleeping bag and shit because.
We did.
Oh, you did.
Because a lot of our vehicles broke.
So you did have to worry.
So
about
by the time our parts would get there, it would be us leaving. So we just said, "Fuck it," and we'll just walk.
Put your grunt hat back on.
it. Yeah.
It works.
I'm not a fan of canceling training because we don't have a part. I'll just walk.
That works.
Yeah, but walking there sucks because there's 9 feet of snow and everything's uphill.
Welcome to Norway.
Yep.
Yeah. It snowed 9 feet in 5 hours.
Holy crap.
Holy shit. That's otherworldly.
Yeah.
It's like being on Mars or Pluto or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I was talking to the Norwegian, one of our like counter workers. He's like, "Yeah, it's supposed to snow." And I was like, "Oh yeah, how much are we supposed to get?" And he's like, 3 meters. I'm like, "Oh, that's not bad."
You start counting.
And then I'm just like, "Oh, you said meters. That's 9 feet." And he's like, "Normal." And I'm like, "The fuck?" It's normal to them. I don't know.
Yeah, normal to them.
Yeah, that's why they're a hardy people.
They are hardy people.
They are hardy.
Beer's
Everyone
close to
there,
$22.
Everyone there though is super nice. Like,
Yeah.
are great people.
Yeah.
And just will do anything for you if you ask them.
Yeah.
They're just great.
Good.
People there are awesome.
Which matches up pretty good with the Marine Corps. Because that's kind of how we are in the Marine Corps, too.
With each other.
With each
With each
other.
other.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, if we like you, we like you. If we don't like you, we kill you.
Yeah. Well, I gotta
Easy
say
for
the
you.
coolest part about the Marine Corps is that no one lies to you. If that makes sense. Like nobody's gonna talk shit behind your back and then be
Yeah.
like best friends with you. And like if I don't like you, I'm just gonna be like, "You're a piece of shit and you're fat and I don't like you." Like, get the fuck away from me. And that's how I feel like every Marine is. And then you go to like civilian world, they're like, "Oh my god, if you lost weight, you look so good."
Bless
She
your
put on
heart.
weight. She is fat as fuck. Why don't you just tell her that?
Yeah.
You know, you look like shit.
Retirement's gonna be very interesting for you.
That's why I am retiring, because there's no fucking way I can get a job at the local tool shed selling fucking bolts and being like, "The fuck you want, fat ass?" You know? I'm too big of an asshole and I'm too blunt. There's no way I can have a civilian job.
But you're a great platoon sergeant.
Great platoon sergeant. I have 0 fat people in my platoon.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Murph's one of these work out 3 times a day, whether you need to or not, guys.
Yeah.
Like we used to be before they broke us.
Yeah. I run in the morning with my platoon, swim in the afternoon, gym in the night.
Nice.
Works. Absolutely.
Keep them combat ready.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they hate it.
Well, thanks, Murph. We appreciate you coming out, man.
Of course. Anytime.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
And